You're pushing for the rollout of the second booster dose for the private sector and the general population. But again, the health department says no study yet to prove that it's really necessary for non-priority groups. Your thoughts on that, and how sure are you of that high level of interest from the sector to actually get vaccinated or to get their second booster dose?
First of all, I quite disagree with Yusek Rosette. No, if she says there is no data. First, let's look at it. Both Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are manufactured by the Americans. CDC allows 50 years and above to take the vaccines. No, so if we buy the vaccines from America, I guess we believe in their science. No, so if CDC has approved it for 50 years old and above, then I don't see any reason why we can't use it in the Philippines. But nevertheless, let's forget that, no? Because right now, from what I get, is that our vaccines are all expiring and have expired, no? So I've been sharing this, that we have about 887,350 AstraZeneca vaccines that are expiring this July. So basically, it's all gone. Now, for Moderna, I'm told that we have about 628,000 vaccines that will expire in August. So if we are to look at the total value of these vaccines that the private sector has purchased, this amounts to close to 1.117 billion pesos that the private sector lost in terms of cash. No? The only thing is that, yes, you cannot prevent vaccines from expiring. No? It's never a perfect situation. But in this case, and I've been calling this as early as this year, no, far early into the year, and not just now. No, I've been saying, let's do it. America's giving for 50 years old. We in the private sector have already given the first boosters to many of our employees long time ago. No, as early as January, February, many of our employees were already taking their boosters for January, February, March. No? And the second boosters is what we hope to have given, no, before it expires, but it's gone. It's too late for us to do that, and we will just have to send our employees maybe to the. But then again, for 60 years old, it's allowed, but for 50 years old, they will not be able to boost our employees because that is not what's approved by HTAM. So that's just my frustration. We lost over 1 billion pesos of vaccines, basically.
Okay, so it's more sure na nasasayangan kayo. It's right there. Some people want a second booster shot and they're not technically allowed by the DOH to do so. Sir, will this 1.5, correct me if I'm wrong, 1.5 million doses are set to expire? Will this affect, not just your possibility to procure future vaccines for the private sector, but just the budget that's going to be put into this in the future? Should we be needing more vaccines if you feel nga na that the money could have been better used?
Well, this is not government money. This is private sector money. So the government does not lose out of this. It's private sector that we could have given to our employees in whatever way. But nevertheless, what I'm just saying is that it's done. Hopefully, moving forward, yes, the private sector, I hope, will continue to support the government in buying our own vaccines. And this time, I hope that they would just follow whatever America is going to apply with Moderna and Pfizer. No, it's common sense. I mean, what is the difference between an American person and a Filipino, or a Filipino who's in America? Filipino American, what's the difference? So I don't really understand, and that's coming from a businessman. Okay, we could have deployed this money elsewhere, helped the government somewhere else, but we were just there waiting. I'm not calling the attention just now. I've been saying this as early as February, March, that, hey guys, come on, please, let's move. America's allowing these people to take. What are we doing? Why are we wasting now? Okay, they want to. I'm not saying don't push the first booster. That's the most important, the first booster. Now, the only reason why I'm really pushing hard for this is we want the economy to keep open. We cannot raise alert levels. We have to be green all the time. And number two, many of our kids are going to school, okay? So we got to protect them because when they go home, they can infect the lolas, the lolos, and their mothers and fathers, no? So yes, there will be more risk as kids goes to school. Hopefully, we can't force them to take the boosters or the vaccines, but definitely we can encourage them. So I'm all for the DOH, what they're doing, going down to the grassroots and vaccinating people. But let us look at the big picture. I mean, here, let's see. I mean, I can understand why this thing was just ignored. No?
So, sir, sorry to interrupt, but what percentage of the private sector has had their first booster? Because nationwide, it's 20%. Were you more successful in actually deploying the vaccines you procured for the private sector in getting most people boosted, at least the first dose?
The first booster, yes. In fact, in our corporation, we're close to 80%. Many others are higher. It depends on who company you talk to. Of course, there are also resistance in the companies, but definitely, since we also gave it to those who are qualified, the first booster, everybody was qualified, right? 12 to 17, 50 years and above, no problem. Everybody was allowed to take the first booster shot. So it was a very high, no issue there. Now, it's just here that we still have vaccines that were really meant for the second booster, no? Had it been allowed. That's all.